What is up, guys? It's Swimmer here, back again finally with some more Premier Cup action in the Ultra League. Going to be using that Lapras and Double Grass strat today. I used this a lot last season. I've used this almost all of this season. I haven't wanted to really play around with teams too much because I just really want to get to rank 9. It's such a grind, and at the end of this video, I do hit rank 9, so I'm very excited about that, and hopefully I'll get placed reasonably high. So let's go ahead and get right into the videos. So as I said, haven't wanted to test out all that many teams just because Premier Cup is the same as it was last season. And honestly, the dust investment is so high. I really wanted to try both a Toxicroak and Abomasnow, especially together, because I think they would cover each other pretty well. But to do that, I needed 450,000 dust, and I don't have enough to spend on that. I mean, I guess I have it now, but at this point, there's like 2 days left in the season, maybe. So doesn't really seem like it's worth it. So I'm going to save the dust for now. Maybe I'll invest in something for the Halloween Cup. But yeah, I just didn't want to really invest too much in the season. So Gallade on the lead. This is actually a really big problem for this team. And I'm happy to see it now because it means I need to have a plan for this Gallade. I'm going to go for the Surf. We tie to the Leaf Blade, and then I can actually do one more Ice Shard and swap out. And if it means they can't get to a close combat. And getting the shield on that Gallade early is really important. So they're actually going to come into a Lapras here against my Tangrowth, and this is way too fast, so it's just going to be Surf. So I don't need to shield that. I'm going to go ahead and build up to almost 2 Power Whips here. So we Power Whip once, we do get the health there. We're going to go for a Rock Slide now. This is going to deal a lot of damage, or take them out if they don't shield. They do shield. And then they're going to be able to farm us down. We can't quite get to the Rock Slide. We almost made it there, but that's totally fine. We're going to come in with Lapras, and they're likely going to Skull Bash here. But that's totally fine. Happy to take the Skull Bash. And it's actually better because it means I can get in an extra Ice Shard and have a Surf ready for this Gallade that's coming in. So they're going to throw a Charge move, but I'm going to be able to get off this Surf and take them out. Sorry, not take them out, get them quite low. And I'm going to swap into my Venusaur. They actually swap at the same time, and they bring in Clefable. So this is really good for us. We're resisting the charms. We're going to be able to get to a Sludge Bomb here, and we generate energy twice as fast as this Clefable, so they're just barely going to be able to make it to a Charge move, but this can only be Meteor Mash. Yeah, they can't actually make it to a Psychic on us before we get to that last Charge move. And then Gallade is coming back in, so we're going to drop the Frenzy Plant, and this is going to take out the Gallade, and that's going to be a GG. So even though Gallade is a real struggle for this team, with, you know, basically making sure that I always am fighting Gallade with an energy advantage or a shield advantage, I can sort of manage to handle it. So good first game there. Getting into the next one, another Gallade on the lead. So this isn't great. Going to do it play it the same way. Go for a Surf here right away. They are actually going for a Leaf Blade. So because it's Shadow, I am going to shield. That does a lot of damage. So I'm going to go for the Leaf Blade here. This is getting the shield. Now we're going to go into Tangrowth. And they actually come into Charizard. So this is totally fine. I like when people switch in Charizard into Tangrowth because I can just Rock Slide, and then it takes them out. So I'm going to go ahead and shield. This is going to be Blast Burn, but I'm going to add another Rock Slide, and this is going to take out the Tangrowth. So this is really good for us. Probably going to be the Gallade coming back in now, if I was to guess. It is Gallade coming back in, and we just need to get to a Charge move here. Probably should have committed and gone for the Power Whip, but I just wanted to make sure that I got as much chip damage as I could, and I wasn't sure if one more Confusion would take me out, and it turns out that it did, so that's pretty good. come in with Venusaur to farm down. We take quite a bit of confusion damage, but that's totally fine. And now we're just going to be able to go for Frenzy Plants here against this Empoleon, and we're going to be able to take it out pretty easily. So this is likely going to take us out here with that Drill Peck, but we've got a basically full health Lapras in the back, and one Surf would be more than enough, so my opponent does surrender, recognizing that it was a lost cause. So this is looking pretty good so far. Um, again, rank 9, real grind this season, so it's like 220 wins to get there. All right, Charizard on the lead. This can actually be pretty tricky. I'm actually happy that they switch out into Gallade right away because that lets me know where it is. So I can go ahead and throw a Surf. And then I'm going to come in with Tangrowth. And because they swapped in Gallade, I find when they swap in, they're very unlikely to throw close combat first because they don't want to debuff themselves. So I don't shield. And I am going to go ahead and go for the Power Whip now, hoping that this will take them out. It does take them out. And my opponent actually decides to leave the match there. So my guess is they must have had, like, I don't know, maybe it was Swampert and Charizard back. If it was, because the Charizard would have come in, I would have been able to get to a Rock Slide to take it out. And then if it was Swampert in the back, it makes sense that they would just concede the match. So that's what my guess is for what they had in the back. But who knows? All right, getting into this next matchup here. Up against Shinigami, and it is Lapras into Charizard. So again, this can be a little bit tricky, particularly if they build up to the Blast Burn and then try and swap on the Surf, which is what this Charizard does. So they come into Alolan Muck, and I don't really have a good switch in here. But what I do know now is that my Venusaur is basically a liability. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tank the Sludge Wave. I want to save my shields, and then I'm going to build up to double Surf, and now I'm going to swap out, hoping to catch a charge move. I do catch a charge move, which is very good for us. It is a Dark Pulse, so we're going to be able to survive that, and they're going to have to Sludge Wave to take me out. I'm going to go for a Frenzy Plant here, over farming just a little bit, and I'm actually hoping that this doesn't take them out, and they throw their energy at me. So this is really good. So they do Dark Pulse, and that does not take us out, but they actually swap out into their own Venusaur, and then I don't know why I go for Frenzy Plant here. This is a huge mistake. I should be going for Sludge Bomb. Fortunately, my opponent decides to shield, and that is going to be probably the game, because what I'm going to be able to do is come into Lapras and go for an Ice Beam. We get the second shield, and then we're going to shield the Frenzy Plant ourselves, and get to another Ice Beam. So we get to another Ice Beam here, and we're really hoping that this takes them out, but it barely doesn't. So we actually have to swap into Tangrowth. Fortunately, we swap on the charge move as well, and so we catch a Frenzy Plant, which is really good for us. Muck is coming back in. We're going to be able to farm them down, get some extra energy. Probably going to see the Charizard now. Yeah, Charizard's coming in. We do need to shield. I know this is only a Dragon Claw, but basically my lose condition was having miscounted their fast moves and not shielding a Blast Burn. So I do go ahead and shield. The Rock Slide does take out the Charizard, and then we're able to Vine Whip down the Venusaur. So that's a really good match. Fortunately, they did still shield my Frenzy Plant from the Venusaur, but definitely should have been going for Sludge Bomb there. And that was a situation where having Ice Beam on Lapras was definitely beneficial. All right. Toxicroak on the lead. Toxicroak is a nightmare for this team. Again, it's something where I have to win sort of basically by committee, so I swap into Tangrowth basically right away, and I build up well past the Power Whip. I shield the Sludge Bomb, because it just does so much damage. It basically one-shots the Tangrowth, and then I get almost to 2 Power Whips and throw one, hoping that they don't shield. Usually they don't, and then you can go for a Rock Slide, and you should basically be able to get to the Rock Slide before they get to the second Sludge Bomb, and you'll almost always force a shield there. They often will switch out as well before you get to that second Rock Slide. So they do Sludge Bomb me there, so at this point I'm just going to come in and farm down with Lapras. Not going to shield the charge move, don't really need to worry too much about the Mud Bomb. And we've got a fair bit of energy advantage, so this is looking okay for us now. It's a Lapras coming in, so I'm actually going to have to swap into Venusaur, and they bring in their Snorlax. So this is looking not great, to be honest, because it's a Shadow Lapras in the back, and they're very likely to have Skull Bash, and we do not. So that's pretty much means that they're going to dominate our Lapras. So we've got to shield our Venusaur, keep it alive as long as possible. We are able to take out this Snorlax, basically. They decided not to shield, so that's pretty good for us. We've got a Frenzy Plant ready, so we're going to go ahead and drop that on the Lapras to get that last shield. And then we're going to swap into our own Lapras, and we managed to catch the Surf, which is really good for us. And then we just need to throw as much energy into this Lapras before they can get to a Skull Bash as possible. So we get one Surf, we get a second Surf. Unfortunately, they did get an Ice Shard through, so that's not very good for us. We should be able to get to one more Surf, I'm hoping. And this is going to get pretty close to eating up the switch timer, so we're able to get to a Surf here. And this get the Lapras very low. We do get it low. We get the switch timer, and then there's some lag there, and we're able to Vine Whip them down. So really close matchup. I think that they got the Surf. I think that they honestly got some lag at the end, because I think that they should have had it. But I mean, that's been happening all season. It's been pretty brutal lag consistently since the beginning of the season, to be honest. So, again, really hoping that we see some improvements on that, because it does make it quite frustrating. All right, so able to go 5-0 in that set, so that's pretty good. That will definitely help us get closer to rank 9, so we're very close now. Hopefully we can get it in the next set, but we'll have to see. All right, jumping into the next set now. And up against Star Wars Lego. So let's see how this goes. We've got an Empoleon on the lead. So I'm going to go ahead and swap. Empoleon, Lapras has a reasonable matchup against Empoleon, but Tangrowth and Venusaur both have better matchups, so may as well swap out. They bring in Dragonite, which is pretty common to see when you have Lapras on the lead. They'll usually bring in their Dragonite right away, which is totally fine for Tangrowth, because you can go for Rock Slides and force them to shield once, or you'll win switch advantage. So, pretty good situation, and not able to get to another Rock Slide, but we are able to come in with Lapras and farm them down. Not going to shield this, thinking it's just a Dragon Claw, but they actually managed to get to the Hurricane, so that's sort of tough, but we're going to go ahead and swap into Venusaur, and it's a Kingdra in the back. Kingdra is a Pokemon that I've seen a lot of this season, and I really actually am curious to try it. It's been causing a lot of problems for me. It has good matchups against both Lapras and Grass types, so really interesting. I'm sort of forced to shield the Octazooka because I don't have very much health left on either Pokemon. We are going to be able to connect on the Frenzy Plant here, but Kingdra is fairly bulky, and we get another Frenzy Plant through to take them out, but we're very low, and they're going to be able to come in with Empoleon and waterfall us down. We're not going to be able to get to that Frenzy Plant, and that's going to be a good game. We've got a Surf ready, but it doesn't really matter. We need to land about 4 Surfs or something on this Empoleon, and they just need to land basically 1 Drill Peck and the subsequent waterfalls. So they're definitely going to be able to take us out here. Yeah, so Drill Peck is going to do a bit of damage. Going to get to 1 more Surf, but then they're going to be able to waterfall down before we get to another. So tough loss there. Again, Kingdra, Pokemon that has been causing some problems for me. I think it beats all 3 of my Pokemon. Lapras has a reasonable matchup against it with Ice Beam, but definitely a tough one. Okay, Toxicroak, another terrible Pokemon for me to see. Go ahead and go into Tangrowth. So hopefully we can take out this Toxicroak. We are going to go ahead and shield up the Sludge Bomb. And again, going to build up to close to 2 Power Whips and then go for Hope to connect on them. So Power Whip here does connect, and then we actually CMP tie to the Rock Slides. They must have snuck in an extra counter on our Power Whip, so it's not great, and the Sludge Bomb is able to take us out. So at this point, I'm going to have to, lag, so I couldn't pick a Pokemon, and come in with Venusaur, I guess. But they actually swap out into Kingdra, so this is good that they swapped. It gives me an opportunity to, at least come in and with my Lapras against this Kingdra. But they go for an Outrage, so that does quite a lot of damage. I'm going to go for an Ice Beam here. And really what I need is to be able to get this Kingdra into farming range for my Venusaur. So I'm going to go for a Surf. Won't do very much damage, but will get it close enough that I can farm it down with Violent. And fortunately, we don't take any more damage from a charge move. They come in with Toxicroak. I'm going to go ahead and go for a Frenzy Plant just as they're about to get to a charge move. And then I make a mistake here. I've got 2, so I try to go back-to-back before they get to 1, but we actually CMP tie to the second, and they get the Mud Bomb. I'm forced to throw, or forced to shield. I had already pressed it, so I do drop the Frenzy Plant. I needed that energy. I basically needed to not throw that second Frenzy Plant and farm them down. That way I would have had back-to-back Frenzy Plants for this Empoleon coming in, and I might have been able to take them out. It's also possible that Toxicroak would have gotten to another Mud Bomb if I'd tried that, because they were definitely getting fairly close. They'd over-farmed for sure. So maybe I wouldn't have, but that was definitely the win condition, was either to get both shields, so I would have had to throw the Frenzy Plant sooner, or to farm them down and double up before that Empoleon came in. So, not looking so good so far this set. 3 straight losses. Another Toxicroak lead. We just cannot get a lead that is to our favor. And springing in the Tangrowth, they come in with Charizard, and again, this is really good for us. We're going to go ahead and Rock Slide this Charizard. They're getting off a charge move here, and I'm just going to let the Tangrowth go down and come in with Lapras and farm up a bunch of energy. So I'm perfectly fine to take a Blast Burn on Charizard. Venusaur can beat the Toxicroak in the back with shields because it outpaces it and resists the counters. So I'm going to go for a Surf here against this Charizard. We are able to take it out, and we've got another Surf ready for this Toxicroak coming back in. This should probably go through. Yep, they decide to let it go through to avoid going down 2 shields to none. We are going to shield up the charge move. It is just a Mud Bomb, and they come in with Alolan Muck. So this is not looking good for us. We're going to have to Frenzy Plant here, and we just need to sort of stall out this clock in the hopes that we can take them out. But I don't think that we've really got much chance here. They Dark Pulse. Gonna go for a Frenzy Plant. And I need to basically store a Frenzy Plant, and my switch timer is just not quite up. I needed it to come up about a second earlier, because I'm going to throw this Frenzy Plant and then try and switch, but we CMP tied. What I really wanted to do was catch that charge move on the Lapras. So I come in with Lapras, and then they're able to switch into Toxicroak and counter me down, and then this Mud Bomb, or Sludge Bomb is going to take us out. So that's a good game. Well played by my opponent. Again, Toxicroak is just a nightmare for this team. And they actually had triple grass counters there with Toxicroak, Alolan Muck, and Charizard. So there's probably no way that I could have played that realistically to win the match, unless I got a little bit of lag that let me stall out the switch clock a little more and successfully sack swap the Lapras or something. All right, the Scavalier on the lead. Going to go ahead and swap into Tangrowth and hope that they stay in. They are staying in, so we're going to go ahead and let the Aerial Ace come through. I'm basically encouraged that, by not shielding, I'm encouraging them not to shield, and I know that I can probably outpace them to the second. We actually don't beat them to the second, so I'm going to shield now, because getting off this Rock Slide is important to me. It forces a shield from this Escavalier, basically. So we do get a shield, and then we get some lag. They're going to be able to farm down, but we can come in with the Lapras and get to a Surf. We're totally fine tanking a Drill Run or Aerial Ace on the Lapras. It doesn't do a ton of damage, and we are able to connect with this Surf. Hopefully they do not shield. I just want to get rid of this Escavalier. We do take it out. That's pretty good for us. So we'll have to see what they come in with. It's a Gyarados, so I'm going to go ahead and swap into my Venusaur. And they're not swapping out, so that tells me that whatever they've got in the back is probably weak to Venusaur and might be a Swampert. They are going to be building up to a Crunch here, or potentially an Outrage. I'm going to go ahead and shield. It is just a Crunch, so I know I'm going to outpace them to the second move, so I overcharged just a little bit, but then we actually CMP tie, so I did one extra Vine Whip there. Going to take an unnecessary Crunch here, basically. So not great, especially if it is a Swampert in the back. It's going to be a lot tighter than it needs to. But we are able to take them out with a Frenzy Plant, and then we're able to get to our own Frenzy Plant. Get a little bit of lag there right when I'm going for the charge move. I don't know if you guys find this, but I find that that's when you get the most lag, is when you are almost dead and you're getting close to a charge move and you just need to get it off before you die, and then you lag. That has been like the story of the season. Able to pick up that win, so that was good. Up against King here. If you guys don't know, Pogo King has an excellent YouTube channel, so I highly recommend checking it out. We come up against Drifloon on the lead, and they swap into Snorlax. So I'm going to match and go into Venusaur here. Venusaur has a bad matchup against Drifloon, but quite a good one against Snorlax. I'm expecting them to double Body Slam here. However, they actually go for the Skull Bash, so that isn't amazing, but we're going to be able to come in with Tangrowth and farm up a ton of energy. So this is going to be a Body Slam, not going to shield it, and then we are going to go ahead and farm all the way down. We've got a ton of energy. They come in with the Drifloon, and my guess is that they're just going to sack this Drifloon. They don't need it. It's not good against either Pokemon. So we are able to get 2 Rock Slides off to take them out before they're able to get to a charge move. So that's quite good for us. But then it's a Toxicroak in the back with 2 shields. So this is really bad. I'm going to need to shield this charge move to get off the Power Whip. So we do get off the Power Whip, hoping that they don't shield this for some reason. And they don't, so King doesn't shield, and at this point, with 2 shields, my play here is to farm all the way down with Ice Shard. So they're getting off a charge move. I've got 2 shields, another shield. I can go ahead and shield it up. It is just a Mud Bomb. I'm going to go ahead and hope that this is another Mud Bomb. It is a Mud Bomb, and we're actually able to get it to basically 1 HP, and then we can Vine Whip down with Tangrowth. So I'm really surprised that they didn't get to another charge move. And I think if they'd gone for the Sludge Bomb on the Lapras, that would have been enough to take us out. But fortunately, they did not, so we were able to pick up the win there. Only went 2 of 5 there, and just barely missed hitting rank 9, so got to do another set. Gengar on the lead. This is okay for us. They swap into Ampharos, so we're going to come in with Venusaur, and our goal here is to leave this matchup with a lot of energy. So they're throwing their charge move. Focus Blast and Thunder Punch are both resisted, so I don't need to shield up the charge move at all. I'm going to go for the Frenzy Plant. That does take out the Ampharos, and likely Gengar is going to be coming back in. Gengar does come back in. We're going to go ahead and go for a Frenzy Plant, and really hoping I can get to another one, because if they farm us all the way down, that would not be very good. And we are able to get to another Frenzy Plant, which is really good. This is going to do about half Gengar's health, even though it is resisted. A little bit more, actually, just because Frenzy Plant is such a strong move. We're going to go ahead and shield. Shadow Ball would deal a lot of damage. It is a Shadow Ball. And they come in with Lapras, so now we're going to swap into Tangrowth and hope that we can get to Power Whip. We are able to get to a Power Whip before they get to their own charge move. They go ahead and shield. And we are going to go ahead and shield as well. Don't want to get hit by an Ice Beam, and Power Whip. I need to connect with a Power Whip on this Lapras to win this game. So we are able to get to a Power Whip here, which is pretty good for us. Does not quite take them out. They are able to get off a charge move of their own, but the Vine Whip did go through and take them out. And Gengar is going to be coming back in. We're actually going to be able to make it to a Rock Slide. No, not quite. Not quite able to make it to a Rock Slide, but they can't. They need 2 Shadow Balls to take us out, and you can't double up on Shadow Balls, so we're going to be able to take them out with an Ice Shard. So, good game. Able to win that matchup. This Ampharos switch-in is one that Venusaur can really punish because it does resist all of its moves, unless it's running Dragon Pulse, which isn't really very common. So, Dragonite on the lead. This is very good for us. We're going to go ahead and get some lag, and then they bring in Empoleon. So I'm going to come in with Venusaur and go for a Frenzy Plant. And we are able to connect with the Frenzy Plant. Not going to shield this Drill Peck because that would just be extra farm for the Dragonite. And then I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and at the 5th waterfall, I throw the Frenzy Plant so that they have to decide whether they want to shield to get off the Drill Peck or let it go. So they do decide to shield, so I'm going to shield as well. I want to maintain switch so that I get my Lapras against that Dragonite. They're going to farm us down, but they didn't really get much energy from that farm. We come in with Lapras, they come in with Venusaur, and this is going to be tight. Venusaur is a bit of a nightmare for this team. So my goal with Tangrowth is to get a shield. That's what I need. I need to get a shield. So we're going to go for a Rock Slide here, and as long as I get a shield, I think I can win this match. I do get the shield. That's amazing. And then better yet, my opponent throws the Frenzy Plant right away before I get to Rock Slide. So this is really, really good for us because we're going to be able to go for an Ice Beam. We're going to have to shield up the Frenzy Plant because we do CMP tied to that Ice Beam. But we can shield this, and then the Ice Beam is basically going to take out this Venusaur. And then with Dragonite in the back, there's really nothing it can do to us unless it gets to a Hurricane, and it's just not going to have enough time. So we're actually going to go for a Surf when they're getting pretty low, just because Dragon Claw would deal a decent amount of damage from a Shadow to take out the Dragonite. So good matchup there. I mean, when you see that Shadow Dragonite on the lead with this team, both Tangrowth and Lapras have a really good matchup against Shadow Dragonite. Tangrowth with Rock Slide almost one-shots because it does that extra 20% more damage. And Lapras obviously dominates that matchup. So Gengar on the lead here. The way I like to play this is to go straight Surf and shield their first charge move, but not their second. Basically, if you can connect with one Surf, you can Ice Shard down before they get to a second Shadow Ball, unless they've got a very, very good IV Gengar. And even if they do, then you might have a Surf stored, and they you win one switch advantage. So they actually decide to swap out here into Machamp to try and counter down. So really nice play by my opponent because it almost worked. However, I do connect with the Surf, and I slightly overfarm on the Venusaur. I get a little bit greedy, so they're actually able to get off the Rock Slide, which isn't great. And again, wish I hadn't thrown that, so I was going to try and do an undercharge, but I didn't undercharge it enough, so it still takes them out. Gengar is going to come back in, but we are going to be able to get to a Frenzy Plant before they get to a charge move, which is really good. So that's going to take out the Gengar, and then it's a Venusaur in the back. And we're going to go for a Sludge Bomb. We need to... honestly, this is going to be kind of tricky. We need to save our Venusaur and hope that we can get to another charge move in the back. I don't know that we're going to be able to win this matchup, though, because Venusaur just has a really strong matchup against both Tangrowth and Lapras. So we are able to connect with a Rock Slide, but then they're going to be able to get off another charge move, so not looking good for us here. I come into Lapras hoping that the Ice Shard and Vine Whip damage would go through at the same time, but they do not. So they're actually able to get to a Sludge Bomb on the Venusaur, and then we actually simultaneously KO. So coming in with the Lapras might have been the fatal mistake there, because they got to the Sludge Bomb one Vine Whip earlier. And obviously one Vine Whip more was all I needed to take them out. So really close game. Able to get the tie, but that does not get us any closer to rank 9, unfortunately. Alright, so Togekiss on the lead. This is really good for us. Togekiss is bad against basically my entire team. They go into Snorlax, and I go into Venusaur, and we get a lot of lag. Who knows what's happening? I don't know how much energy they have. Maybe I dropped fast moves, maybe I didn't, but we're going to go for a Frenzy Plant. In hindsight, it would have been much better for me to go into Tangrowth against the Snorlax, since Venusaur has a very strong matchup against Togekiss. So I am going to go ahead and let the Body Slams come through. I don't need to win Switch Advantage here because I know that I have a good matchup against Togekiss with both Pokemon. So they do go ahead and shield, so I'm going to farm down all of this energy on the Snorlax. I might take 2 Body Slams, but I am probably going to leave with basically 2 Rock Slides, and that's going to really put their Togekiss in a difficult position. So they actually go for a Superpower to deal a little extra damage. Togekiss comes in, but they actually switch, so this is great. I can Rock Slide, and then this gets the Togekiss low enough that I can farm all the way down with Ice Beam without even having to shield. So this is really good. I've got a lot of energy now, and it's another Toxicroak in the back. So fortunately, this is basically the ideal scenario. I have tons of loaded energy to handle this Toxicroak. I go for the Surf, and then I make a mistake here. I go for the Ice Beam. Ice Beam is more energy efficient, but Toxicroak, you just need to land 2 Surfs to KO. So by going for the Ice Beam, I basically am making myself throw an extra 2 Ice Shards. So I should have just gone for the double Surf. However, fortunately, I was able to get to the Surf with the Lapras, and then Snorlax is coming in, and Tangrowth can get to the Rock Slide just fine. But much closer than it needed to be. Against the Toxicroak, you definitely just want to be going for double Surf if you're Lapras. If you had a Shadow Lapras that had Ice Beam, like you'd invested the Elite TM, maybe that would be the better play because you might be able to farm down after. But with a regular Lapras, just go for the Surf. Alright, so looking pretty good so far. Empoleon on the lead. I'm going to swap out into Tangrowth. Again, Lapras has an okay matchup, but both Tangrowth and Venusaur have a positive matchup, so would much prefer to get one of them lined up against Empoleon. We are just going to tank the Drill Peck, and they come in with a Kingdress. This is fine. We're going to be able to get to 2 Power Whips. Again, seeing some lag on the charge moves. That's the other time when you see it is on the charge move animation when you need to be hitting those bubbles. So pretty frustrating, but we are able to get to 2 Power Whips. They're going to be able to farm down, but they're probably low enough that I can come in with Lapras and farm all the way down for a ton of energy. So not going to shield. This is probably just going to be an Octazooka. It is just Octazooka. They do get the debuff though, so that's not great. Means that we're able to farm more, but it means that we have to invest a shield to block this outrage. So pretty unfortunate, but it is a 50% chance. So it is what it is. But we've got 100 energy now on the Lapras. We're going to swap out no matter what to reset our debuffs though. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. But I think they came in and swapped and then saw us swap. I think maybe they got some charge moves. Again, who knows with the lag what happened. But we are able to connect with a Sludge Bomb. So this is pretty good because we're going to be able to just do 2 fast moves with Lapras to take them out. And we've got a lot of Surfs ready for this Empoleon. So 1 Surf comes through. Going to go for another Surf right away. This would be another place where it'd be nice to have Skull Bash, because Skull Bash would be raising our defense enough that we could survive some extra waterfalls. But you can see that those Surfs are really starting to add up. We're going to be able to shield up this Drill Peck, and we need to get to basically 2 more Surfs. So we're going to go up, do 4 more Ice Shards. They're 1 away from another Drill Peck. So, and I'm 1 away from another Surf, so hopefully we can get it, but fortunately that Surf actually did enough damage that the Ice Shard KOs, so we don't need to land that last Surf, which is good, because we would have lost CMP, so really, really close match, but we're able to take out the Empoleon, and able to go 4-1 in the last set there. This should get us to rank 9, so went, let's see, 11-4 to hit rank 9 here. Just going to catch this Litwick, and then we will see where we got placed. Alright, going to trash that Litwick, wasn't very good. And we hit rank 9, and we get placed at 2776. So it's not too bad. That should actually put us onto the leaderboard. So huge grind to get there, but we have finally made it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.